Hello everyone. This is a no save, no damage run of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, classic PC Source Next version, any percent, arrange heavy mode, S rank with a completion time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 42 seconds. We got Jill in the elegant costume, starting off in front of her apartment. Just got one zombie in the way, gonna knock him down with a handgun, move forward. In arrange mode, Nemesis and Gravedigger have 900 HP instead of 800, and in heavy mode, we start with the handgun and the reloading tool, and the item box only has the knife. And we start with 8 item slots. And any percent means we are just beating the game as quickly as possible. We can skip all optional encounters if we want.
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive.
After meeting and disregarding Dario, grabbing some handgun ammo out of this container. Into the warehouse office to grab the warehouse key and 2 gunpowder A's. These always spawn here. Going to use the reloading tool to make some handgun ammo. And depositing the reloading tool in the item box for now. I need to make enhanced ammo, so all of the gunpowder A's will be going towards handgun ammo, unless I need to make flame rounds if we get the grenade launcher in the RPD. Specifically, we need the enhanced ammo for the Nemesis clock tower fight. Into the business back street. Got Brad rushing out of the shelter, going to reset the room because all of these Zeds are turboed, and we don't want that. We have plenty of handgun ammo, just going to take them out. We have enough ammo, so we don't need to use the knife or anything. There's one more at the base of the stairs here. He can turbo. It's kind of rare that he does, but it is possible. Getting the shotgun off the corpse. And the lighter oil off the shelf here. In the residential street, had a few dodges to make here. Luring the first one off to the side before zigging and zagging. We don't need to fight anything here, just running through. In the private backyard, Brad's gonna kill the first one. Gonna go for a double decap here. We got it. We only really need to worry about the one in the blue tank top, as he'll be in the way on the way back. But I like to take both out. Now in the bar blackjack here, grabbing the lighter by the payphone. And here's a fun thing that I like to do. You can get grabbed, but you'll never take damage. Brad will always shoot him off of you before he does any damage. Handgun ammo by the register. Combining the lighter with the oil. Into the barricaded back passage here. The zombies breaking down the barricade is RNG. They can break down before you get to use the lighter, but they will always break it down after using the lighter, if it's not already broken down. The forked alley, which is on fire, just running through, dodging the dogs. The uptown storeroom, gunpowder A and B. Depositing the lighter and those gunpowders. And onto the bookshop street to go to the RPD. For our first live selection in the RPD courtyard, we're just going to enter the police station. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have to fight anything that isn't required, so we're taking the easy route. Running through the RPD main hall into the West office or information office. This is the preferred RNG. That means the shotgun shells are in Marvin's office. Using a couple of shotgun shells to thin the herd. And since we're not fighting Nemesis, we could just leave that one. In the evidence room, blue gem. And around the corner to the last locker, it's going to be one of these four combinations. 0131, 4011, 0513, or 4312. The first floor west stairway. Using the shotgun to soften them up. Resetting the room. Two more to deal with. And that was enough. In the dark room, gunpowder A in the locker. Putting away the blue gem and the gunpowder. I used to go for slide shots, but most of the zombie HP pool, the shotgun can take them out in 1 or 2 shots. Or 1 shot with the shotgun, and then another shot or 2 with the handgun. I needed to use 2 shotgun shells to clear up that inventory space, so that worked out. The STARS office corridor, using the emblem key, which is the STARS key to get in the office. Grabbing the lockpick off Jill's desk. Triggering the cutscene with the communications device, which brings us to the locker. And we get the grenade launcher. For speedruns, grenade launcher is the thing to get. For no damage, I prefer Magnum, but since we got the grenade launcher, that's going to change my ammo crafting a little bit, so we need to make some flame rounds for some drain demos and brainsucker encounters. And this means the Magnum is in the substation. Running back through the stairway, Nemesis jumps through the window. We're ignoring him. He has a rocket launcher this time, extra reason to ignore him. Back in the evidence room, since we have the lockpick, get a gunpowder B. And just running through. There's some handgun ammo on the reception desk in the main hall that I did not pick up this round. Back down by the bookshop, using the lockpick to open up the zigzag alley here. Handgun ammo on that dead UBCS guy, ignoring that as well. Down the straight alleyway into the parking area. We have 3 dogs to deal with. For the first 2, using the handgun, just alternating, because they'll take stun off each shot. Usually takes 6 to 8 shots. third dog will come around as we approach the bus, the back of the bus. Since we only have one, then we can just stun lock him. Another UBCS guy, Gunpowder B. And into the garage, where we have two more dogs. Same strat, just alternating. There we go, they're both down. Grabbing the power cable out of the vehicle that's getting its battery charged. Garage office, depositing the handgun ammo. Contemplating gunpowders, putting away the power cable. Grabbing the blue gem. And we need the reloading tool. To make flame rounds, we need an A and a C. Or we need a gunpowder to mix with grenade rounds. But we don't have grenade rounds yet, so we need to make them from scratch. The construction street, waiting for dog number 3 to come around the corner before running and then turning to the right. I found that to be a very consistent dodge. We have the flame rounds equipped, going into the maintenance area. It'll always be drain demos for the first encounter. Single flame round takes it out. And a gunpowder A on this UBCS guy. We see good old Carlos clearing the path for us, going by the water feature into the restaurant. Once we're in the restaurant, we're checking for powders. There are 2 gunpowder A's here. If they weren't here, they would be in the press office. I prefer to get the gunpowders here, so that's good RNG for me. Using the lockpick to open up this locker for the fire hook. Now in the shopping district, aiming down with the shotgun to take the legs out of 3 zombies. Then clearing those 2 out. Into the downtown storeroom. Need to do some inventory management. Don't need the lockpick, don't need those gunpowders for now. Grabbing the rusted crank. And some shotgun shells. This path is clear, going into the City Hall gate area. In the press office lobby, just need to push this step stool, step ladder, in front of the power switch here. The switchboard, flipping the lever to supply power to the shutter. Then heading up the stairs to the press office proper.
It's him!
Now we have Carlos in the press office instead of the restaurant. And we're going to jump out the window.
Wow, that killed. Just so you know, I'm not into that pain is pleasure thing, okay?
Just deal with it. That thing wants me dead. We've got to get out of here.
Yeah, Carlos, just deal with it. This route also results in a very minimal Nemesis encounter. The City Hall gate is the only room we will encounter Nemesis in for this stretch. But for right now, we're going back to the restaurant. Since we did not encounter Carlos and therefore Nemesis in the restaurant, there are going to be 5 zombies in the way. Here are the other 3. Only needed to take out the 2 up top, and then just the 1 down in the basement. But in total, there are 5 zombies in the restaurant, and then 3 in the basement. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is the only room we're going to encounter Nemesis in, but it can be a little tricky, because we need to make sure that he's walking. And he is, fortunately. Sometimes he just starts off immediately running, and it's very difficult to dodge. So you reset the room, and you wait for him to walk. But since he was walking right off the bat, that was the good RNG. We're able to just run right by, get the gems into the clock face, and open up the gate to City Hall. Into this very dirty alley. There are 2 variations for the zombie placement. We got the sleepers here. And through the gate to the Lunsdale yard. In the cable car area, we can encounter either zombie dogs or zombies. Either way, the first group gets taken out with the barrel. A batch of 14 shotgun shells off of this unfortunate soul here. Now, the third dog will jump out of the fire either before or after we go through the cable car. Obviously, since it hasn't jumped out already, it will jump out on our way back through. We meet Nikolai, and then Mikhail,
Jill,
then Carlos again.
to help us out. It looks like. Jill, put this on.
And we get the precious inventory expansion. We have now 10 slots instead of 8. And the wrench, which is also important. There's the dog. And now it's gone. On the way back through the dirty alley, that guy will always break out of the car. And take him out with a headshot, and then grab the gunpowder B out of the car. When we approach the City Hall door, some zombies are going to burst out of that. There are 4 total. Then to the bronze statue of Raccoon City Mayor Michael Warren to get the bronze book. If you examine it, it's called the Book of Wisdom. Coming back through the shopping district. Carlos is running away from 6 zombies. Just going to use the shotgun to clear the area. And we're clear. Now to go back to that water feature that we ran by earlier. Setting the book down so we can grab the compass, the bronze compass, which becomes the future compass if you examine it. I always appreciate those little details when you examine something and it gives you more information or changes its name. Now we can go back to City Hall, place the compass, and get the battery. Dogs jump out of the window. It can be dogs or crows. I find crows easier, but either are manageable. Just have to turn around and reset the room, because now they'll be busy doing other things while we can just run right on by. If you didn't get the gunpowder A's in the restaurant, so they spawned in the press office, you want to make sure to get those before you go through the City Hall gate area a third time, otherwise you'll have to deal with the extra enemies. Now we have the battery, and we go back towards the maintenance area so we can go to the substation. Stopping by a save room first to get an item box. And I'm going to make a triple B of shotgun shells to get 30. I don't need to make enhanced shotgun ammo, so I don't need to worry about getting a certain number of reloads. I just want as many shotgun shells as I can get from that. Grenade launcher with the flame round equipped, as we have 2 brain suckers in here now. It can either be the brain suckers or the drain demos. They're basically identical enemies. The substation entrance. There are 7 zombies total. But they do have slightly different placement. Either which way, shotgun to clear them out. And 3 gunpowder bees spawned here. If they were not here, they would be in the sales office. Just want to make sure that I have at least 5 open inventory slots before I get here. Flipping the switch. And then red, blue, blue, blue. And then blue, red, blue, red. We want to make sure that both shutters get open before we encounter the next live selection. Since we got the grenade launcher and the RPD, the Magnum is right here. And taking the emergency exit to force the Nemesis encounter, which I find to be easier and safer to get by compared to the encounter after the sales office. And we're just running. He's not going to get a shot off, he's going to jump down, and we're going to be gone by the time he's able to do anything. Back in the construction street, we have 5 zombies here, and Nikolai's back there firing away before running off. Now, these zombies will only be here after meeting Carlos at the cable car, and if you have not met Nikolai at the gas station. If we went to the gas station first, there would either be 2 drain demos or 2 brain suckers here. We want the zombies because that means we can get the grenade rounds out of the car after that zombie breaks out. If it's drain demos or brain suckers, the zombie will never burst out of the car. More body shots. And then grabbing those grenade rounds. So the most HP a Zed can have is 138. The least amount of damage the shotgun can do is 50. There are 14 different possible HP values that a Zed can have, and 12 of those are under 100. So most of them would only take 2 shotgun shells to the body. And I find it easier and safer to blast from a distance, which is much safer than going for headshots, and much more consistent than going for slide shots. Now we're heading towards the sales office. Just running through. Crows can burst out of that bus, but since they didn't burst out, they will burst out on the way back. Using the wrench to get the fire hose. Now in the zigzag alley, there will either be 2 drain demos or 2 brain suckers. The barrel didn't get both of them, so finishing the one off with flame rounds. Bookshop Street will either have 7 zombies or 3 dogs. Just clearing enough space to run by. If I were to fight Nemesis here, then I would want to make sure the area is clear. And I know that the 3 gunpowder bees are not going to be at the sales office because they were at the substation, so I actually don't need to make any more room. It is possible to get all 3 gunpowder A's and all 3 gunpowder B's at the sales office, which can clog up your inventory pretty quickly, unless you plan on mixing them anyway. Running through the dark alley. You can't ever do anything about that single solitary zombie. In front of the sales office, we have 2 drain demos. Can also be brain suckers. A single shot from the Magnum will take them out. Carlos was here, but he got sad, understandably so, and he ran off. Using the remote to get the password for the pharmacy storeroom. It can be Safspril, Adravil, or Aquacure. And it was Adravil. And the 3 gunpowder A's are here, so they will not be at the gas station. And the oil additive. Once we grab that, gonna get a cutscene. 6 Zeds breaking through the door. Just waiting, letting them get a little bit closer before I start blasting with the shotgun, because that will get the valve handle knocked off. Steam does quite a bit of damage to them. And we have some more Zeds here. That lady turboed, otherwise I would have waited to go for a triple decap, because I had some safety from the desk being in the way. So just a couple body shots. And now we're running all the way back to City Hall area. There are the crows. Our next live selection. We can climb up or we can jump down. There's no benefit to jumping down. We're just going to climb up. Before we go to the gas station, taking a quick detour to grab the fuse from the substation. This area is clear. We don't have to worry about Nemesis. There are no enemies inside of the substation. They are still trapped in the little gate. Fuse, and we're out of here. Stopping at the item box, clear some space. Making sure the gunpowders are in order, so we know exactly how many we have. Going to make a triple B, and this time combining them with the grenade rounds to make acid rounds for the Gravedigger encounter. And grabbing all the components that we need for the cable car. Just double checking everything, making sure that we have everything we need. Because it'll be a minute before we see another item box. We have 2 Zeds burst out of the windows, but they will despawn once you have the 3 components for the cable car. Technically 4 components, but you have to combine 2 of them into 1, so I call it 3. Attempting to open the shutter to the gas station with the rusted crank. That doesn't work, so we have to use the wrench to finish the job. We no longer need the wrench. I'm going to toss that. The 3 gunpowder A's would be on the table if they spawned here. There's Nikolai. We're promptly ignoring him. And now for my favorite puzzle in the game. We need to get a single red light above the lit up letter. When you press the switch, the light above the switch you hit and the adjacent ones will toggle. So lights that are on will turn off, and the lights that are off will turn on. It's nice and simple. I know a lot of people brute force it. I don't. I just like it. Anyway, we're done with it. Gas station's on fire. Nikolai is nowhere to be found. And we're out of here. Now, the reason those two guys despawn is because we have a scripted Nemesis encounter. He's going to charge. He's going to wait just a moment. And then we're going to run by. Back in the Lunsdale yard, we have our next scripted boss encounter. Now, this is an optional encounter, but taking Gravedigger out here, scaring him off, means he has less HP during the graveyard fight. Just going to post up at this camera angle. As soon as we see him, we can fire, hitting him with acid rounds. There's 4. We need 7 total. That roar means he's done. Now we can hit these switches in peace. Don't have to worry about anything disturbing us. And now we are ready to go to the clock tower. Using the fuse, mixed oil, and power cable. Doesn't matter which order. Carlos is going to show up. And he is not going to give us flame rounds because he is sad about Murphy, understandably so. If you meet Carlos at the gas station, you will get flame rounds. I don't need them, and this is a different route anyway. We have a Nemesis encounter, but it's completely optional. We can just turn around and try to go out the door, and it will trigger this cutscene.
No, the brakes are out.
All right, live selection time. We're going to use the emergency brake. This removes a potential Drain Demos or Brainsucker encounter in the Clock Tower dining room, and this means that Nemesis will not have the rocket launcher for the fight in the Clock Tower courtyard. He'll have a tentacle attack, but that is easily avoidable. Plus, I just think this scene is really cool. In the Clock Tower courtyard, you get to see the whole thing. Gotta start running right away because we have a bunch of crows. Nothing else to pick up here. Through the piano room into the chapel. The gunpowders are here. There are 2 gunpowder A and 2 gunpowder Bs here. As well as the first clock tower key. And this is the winder key. Now if we jumped out the window, the bezel key would be here, and the other key would be in the living room. The living room is also where the powders can spawn. Zombies break through, rotating to Jill's left and running. This is where we encounter Carlos, as well as some grenade rounds. Carlos, if we took the route where we jumped out the window, Carlos would be in the small library. Those grenade rounds have a chance to spawn in there as well. The small library itself, we can either get zombies or small spiders. Just taking them out safely from a distance, we have plenty of ammo. I've heard some people have concerns about the small spiders. I've been able to take them out and run by without issue. I've also just been able to run by without doing anything without issue. Maybe it's just luck. I'm not sure. But I've had consistent success with the small spiders in the library. Running to the bedroom to get the other key, the bezel key. Heading upstairs, we hear that Nemesis roar. Which doesn't always happen. Don't have to do anything with these spiders, just running by. Using the bezel key to lower the ladder. And then up into the cog room. The Clock Tower music box puzzle. The solution for the PC version is the same every time, which is up, down, up, down, up. That gives us the Chronos chain, which we combine with the Winder key to make the Chronos key. Now on that shelf by the typewriter, there's a chance that 2 gunpowder A's will be on the shelf. But if they are not there, they are not anywhere. And there will be mine thrower rounds on the table in the back, but we're skipping the mine thrower. Nemesis encounter on the balcony. Using the light to just get him out of here. Into the spider corridor with the acid rounds equipped. Using other types of grenades or other weapons can result in baby spiders spawning. So we're using the acid rounds to prevent that. Taking the first one out, resetting the room. Waiting for the second one to come into the line of fire here. One-shotted, grabbing grenade rounds off this very, very unfortunate soul. Resetting the room, one more spider to take out. I didn't like that positioning, so trying it, resetting the room again. Taking the more aggressive approach there. We got him. Corridor's clear. Now the clock room, it is 5 o'clock. So the order is going to be crystal, obsidian, amber. From left to right. And then all the way back to the cog room to activate the clock tower bell. Grabbing the silver gear off the shelf, combining those to make the Chronos gear. There are those mine rounds I mentioned earlier, skipping that. Using the gear to get the bell tolling. Now for some inventory and item box management. Need all these gunpowder A's. Just making more handgun ammo to get my crafting experience up. And then mixing those last two into a double. Once you craft enough handgun ammo to get a single box of 20, the next one, which will be your 8th craft, will make enhanced ammo. I wanted a little bit extra enhanced ammo, and that's why I made the AA, or the double A. And we're sitting really pretty with ammo. Can't combine regular ammo and enhanced ammo, only had one to clear out, so I could reload. .39 enhanced shots. And the damage is done based on distance. So the farther away you are, the weaker your shots are. For the clock tower fight, Nemesis has that tentacle attack. Gonna turn to the right, rotate to the right, run, waiting, making sure he comes around this angle. Gonna get him caught up on the corner here. Done. We are far enough away to where even if he tried to do his tentacle attack, we would be out of range. Now, based on distance, the enhanced handgun can do 29 if you're close, 27 if you're a mid-distance, or 25 damage per shot. Nemesis has 900 HP, and he always falls down when he hits 400 HP. And that 400 HP is an HP wall, so he will not drop below 400 HP. So if he's at 401 HP and you do 50 points of damage, it will stop at 400.
The sound of falling rain. I can't believe I'm still alive.
Now we're playing as Carlos. Through the piano room, just running straight through. Into the dining room. I'm going to clear out that guy coming around the corner. Excellent. Nobody else got in the way. Resetting the room so we can make a run for it. You can run straight for the doors, but it's safer to take that one out. In the spider corridor, we have drain demos. As Carlos, you can get drain demos, brain suckers, or spiders. I prefer spiders, but we get what we get. Taking the first one out, resetting the room. Waiting for the second one. They have some iframes when they're on their back in the process of flipping over. And you can tell when you're hitting them or not. It's very easy to tell. You hear the noise. Now for the third one. He's going to jump. No, he's not going to jump. I thought he was going to jump because he has before. He was about to jump right there, but I managed to stun lock him. 70% rifle ammo, which is a solid amount. Pushing the bell out of the way. There is a line to take here to run by these 4 Zeds, but I'm playing it safe. I was hoping to get more than just the one, but like I said a few moments ago, we get what we get. Using up the handgun ammo first. I want to save as much rifle ammo as I can. Being very cautious with my rifle ammo. In the hospital waiting room, we now have hunters. Not going to fight this one. Just going to turn to the right and run to the door. Apparently you can go behind the pillar and you'll be right next to the door when the cutscene happens. I haven't tested it yet. In the doctor's lounge, handgun ammo in the locker, a tape recorder on the desk, using the tape recorder to power the elevator.
Fracture in his right arm just below the elbow. However,
I always like to go to the 4th floor first. In the data room, cutscene with Nikolai and Tyrell running to the back to pick up the sick room key. There are no handgun ammos on the bench, so handgun ammo is going to be in the basement storeroom. Going in room 401. It's got the slip 531. I got lucky and had zombies in that room. It can be sliding worms, which gives you a very short window to check the position of the cabinet, or if you can't see the cabinet, check the slip, turn around and get out before one latches onto you. Now 531 means pushing the cabinet up and to the left. And of course 531 is the code to the safe here. That gives us the vaccine base. Now to head to the basement. And we have zombies. Now this group of zombies can be on any of the 3 accessible floors. The 1st floor, the 4th floor, or B3. I like to get them in B3 because that means we will not have hunters on the way back. We'll have hunters in the storeroom here, but that is a lot easier to manage for me than in the basement hallway. In the experiment room, grabbing the medium base. Switching the electric supply. And solving one of the very few non-RNG puzzles in the game. It is 1-3-A every single time. With the vaccine medium, can combine it with the vaccine base, and now we have the vaccine. The Hunter Gamma's going to break out, but that's okay. We're just going to run right on by. I checked out of habit, even though I knew there would be no hunters in here. These hunter betas. But they will be in the doctor's lounge when we go back to the first floor. That took him out. I didn't hear the noise, but it took him out. Back to the reception office. And finally into the waiting room, where it seems to be a time-based bomb. Plenty of time to run out and trigger the next cutscene. And now we run back to the chapel. The clock room here can have zombies or sliding worms. Gotta be careful with the sliding worms. Want to make sure that we're running right away so we don't get caught by them. Running through the main hall. Nemesis, in his second form, is going to break through. But we don't need to worry about him. Just going to turn and run. Back at the chapel, and now we're back as Jill. Need the lockpick. And we're sitting just fine with everything else. Nemesis is going to remove a loading screen for us, which is really nice of him. And continue chasing us through the rest of the clock tower. Have some enhanced handgun ammo to burn, using that up, going into the park office. There are grenade rounds in the locker and on the table. They could also be mine thrower rounds. And then grabbing the park key, which is the main gate key, off of the key rack. We have a lot of grenade rounds to work with. Don't need the lockpick. And grabbing the Magnum for good measure. Got a few various encounters coming up. Main gate open, and we are in the park. We have sliding worms here. There can also be hunter betas. Onto the wooden jetty. Can get zombies. But because there are no zombies here, we're getting hunter gammas. I like to back up into the camera change, and then run forward to give myself space. And then hitting them with the flame rounds. That'll take them out in one shot. On the forest path here, we can get hunters or dogs. There'll be 3 of them. I got dogs, just using the shotgun. Resetting the room, listening for footsteps. Park key on this UBCS guy. That's for the graveyard. I instinctively went to aim check after the camera angle change. Magnum rounds on the other UBCS guy. Just running through the main park here. Sliding worms, not really a threat at all. And the fountain. Switching the positions of the gears around. So the two black gears are on the top right spots, and the two lighter gray gears are on the bottom. That will drain the fountain, so we can go into the drainage passage. There's our friend, the old Gravedigger, and sliding worms falling down. We could see the shadow, but we got up the ladder before they actually showed up. Running through the graveyard. The Zeds coming out of the ground. Don't got to worry about them, just run by. And going into the graveyard cabin. 2 gunpowder Bs and 2 gunpowder As on the table. These always spawn here. And grabbing the iron pipe out of the cabinet. Going into the graveyard cabin storeroom. Contemplating what I want. Making a triple A to get 18 flame rounds out of 6 grenades. And making a triple B. Since we have some experience crafting grenades, we got 19 acid rounds out of 6 grenade rounds. And we are stacked with ammo. Clearing the fireplace with the lighter, discarding that. Then the iron pipe. In the secret communications room. Grenade rounds on the shelves. Park key, which is the rear gate key. On the table, try to leave, get a transmission, ignore, running away.
I'm quite impressed.
Nikolai, ignoring him too. And it's time for the Gravedigger fight. As I mentioned earlier, scaring him off in the Lonsdale yard means he has less HP now. Waiting for him to get out of the ground, taking one shot, running by this light post. Just going to fire acid rounds continually until he's submerged. Positioning Jill by this rock. Waiting for it to come out of the ground. Run forward, back up. He usually does it twice to me. Sometimes it's only once. Sometimes it's 3 times. But once he slowly emerges, just gonna run into the corner and fire until it's dead. Back in the drainage passage. On our way back, we can get sliding worms or giant spiders. This time we got sliding worms, but I wanted to reset anyway. And now we can run all the way back to the forest path. Equipping flame rounds. We have 7 Zeds in the area. Just need to clear the one out that's in the way, and the rest of the path is clear. Now it's time for the final section of the game, the Dead Factory.
No!
Live selection on the bridge. And we're going to push Nemesis off. Jumping off results in the Barry ending. Pushing him off means that Jill and Carlos will fly themselves out. Through the entry corridor, into the resting room,
Carlos.
cutscene with Carlos. We have the facility key, which we will need to get the rocket launcher, 3 gunpowder A's and 3 gunpowder B's. If those gunpowders aren't here, they are downstairs in the water control room. I need freeze rounds for the disposal fight. So I'm going to make a triple C to maximize the number of freeze rounds I get. 19 freeze rounds out of 6 grenade rounds. I had 1 gunpowder B left, so I just made shotgun shells, even though I don't really need them. As you can see, we are sitting very, very stacked with grenades. But having the shotgun is nice in case I encounter sliding worms down in the lower level. In the steam room, there's a little trick that we can do to get by a little faster. Hitting the first and the third switch, and then just running and spamming the confirm button so we don't have to go all the way around. That does no damage and saves a little bit of time. And then just hitting the same switches in reverse order. And we're out of here. Back in the entry corridor. Under Drain Demos or Brain Sucker. It can be either. I can just run right by it, but I'm playing it safe. I'm getting really close to the end of the run here. In the control room. 5 Zeds right in a row. Just using the shotgun. Clearing them out. And then resetting the room. So the shotgun still has some use at this point. Grabbing the system disc, also called an ammo disc. Just triple checking, being extra safe. Then down the elevator. In the water pollution pool, this is a very tricky room. Can be, I should say. There are 4 possibilities. Hunter betas, drain demos, brain suckers, or zombies, and they can respawn up to 3 times. After visiting the steam room for the first time, after visiting the water control room for the first time, and after acquiring the red card key. In the water filter passage, we can get either 2 hunter betas, which will not respawn, or 7 sliding worms, which do respawn. We got hunters, so they're getting a flame round each, staying hugged to the corner to avoid getting hit. If we had sliding worms, I would use the shotgun. the monitor room, making space for the water sample, and then downstairs into the water control room. Using the facility key on the encoding machine so we can get the rocket launcher. And then using the water sample for the puzzle. Now, the water sample puzzle can be solved by looking at the first 2 unit placements. This is medium empty. So A is going to be moved to the left 4 times, B is going to move to the right twice, and C is going to be moved to the left twice. Now with the water sample taken care of, we can grab the system disk and head back upstairs. Back in the water pollution pool, I know we have 3 hunters. First one, getting Magnum. Resetting the room. Second one, by the barrel, got hit. That's fine. Resetting the room again. And last one. Thought he might jump down. Looks like I'll have to meet him in the middle. Tried it with the Magnum, did not work. Switching to the flame rounds. Got him. That got a little close. Making sure freeze rounds are in the grenade launcher. Grabbing some shotgun shells off the cart. Don't need them, just grabbing them because they're there. Back up the elevator. Double checking, making sure my grenade launcher has the freeze rounds in it. The treatment room entry. Also making sure that the key was coded. Nikolai's there, he shot, he missed, and he's gone. Which I find this route very satisfying. Using the system disk to go into the treatment room for the Disposal Nemesis boss fight. This is a mandatory encounter.
Warning. Proceeding with operation.
Now he's going to start with 900 HP. When he gets to 650, that's an HP wall. As I mentioned earlier, when he hits a wall, even if you do more damage that would bring him below that, it will stop at that wall. So he has an HP wall at 650, 400, and 150 HP. Now when he hits those walls, he is going to kneel. He has iframes during that animation, and he will not take damage until he's all the way down. Hitting him with a freeze round, run to the corner. Missed one. 3, 4. It takes 4 direct freeze rounds to do enough damage to hit that wall. Waiting, baiting, running by. He is very slow in this form. Repeat. And if you do manage to get grabbed, and you button mash to get up faster, you will get hit with a backswing. If you don't do anything and let Jill get back up on her own, that backswing will miss. Now using the freeze rounds, which do about 85 damage if it's a direct or full hit. 4 freeze rounds per cycle, except for the last one, it's only 2. And Nemesis must be fully upright for the ending cutscene to trigger. So you can get him down to 0 HP, but it won't do anything unless he's fully upright. We have the red key card.
Missile attack confirmed. All personnel evacuate immediately.
We have a fresh batch of test subject zombies in here. Just using the shotgun to clear them out. Kind of an awkward camera angle. Resetting the room. Checking, there we go. Making sure it's clear. Again, playing it super, super safe. We still have so much ammo. Going back to the Steam room. Now that we have the key card key, we can activate this elevator. To go down to the weapons storage room. Don't need those grenade rounds, as we have a ton of grenades as it is. And using the coded facility key to get the rocket launcher. That's the key, it has to be coded. Equipping acid rounds in the grenade launcher and my shotgun. Shotgun is what I'll use next. I want the acid rounds for the final Nemesis fight. And the card key to open up the shutter. We don't need it anymore. Going to discard it. We got a triple kneecap, which is nice. Resetting the room. They're out of HP. They're going to despawn as soon as we leave. Just again, out of habit, checking like I'm expecting to see something there.
Warning.
Communications tower at the portable receiver and Magnum ammo. There are only 2 zombies that are actually active in this room. Taking them out from a safe distance. Now all I need for the final fight is 1 acid round, 1 Magnum round, and the 4 rockets. There are shotgun shells at the end here, but we don't need them. Going through this car yard here, and into the rail cannon room. Good old junkyard. Now it's time for the final boss, the final Nemesis. We need to activate the Sword of Paracelsus by pushing these 3 big batteries to power the rail cannon and end the fight. Now for this fight, Nemesis has 900 HP. Rockets do 200. The grenade launcher, the acid round, does 55, and the Magnum does 50. And Nemesis needs to be below 0 to trigger the animation where he goes in the corner and gets stuck. Just getting to 0 is not enough for some reason. So if I were to use just the Magnum, I would need a 3rd Magnum shot. Using the grenade launcher, the acid round, to start means that I only have to use 1 Magnum. Now to start the fight, 1 acid round, turn around, luring him around the corner, waiting for that acid spit. Waiting until I can see its head at the bottom corner, running onto this section, firing a rocket. We hear him priming up for that acid attack, running out of the way, getting another rocket in, switching to the Magnum, Waiting for the acid. Now I only need to hit him with these last 2 rockets, get him out of the way. You can see how very, very close that acid and those tentacle attacks got. I am just out of range. That got very, very close. I usually have a little bit more distance between me and Nemesis when I hit him with the final rocket. And sometimes you'll find that he will start priming up for another acid attack. But if you hit him with that last rocket and trigger that animation for him to go back to the corner, that will interrupt that acid priming. He's plenty out of the way. We're in a safe distance. We can push batteries number 2 and 3 in. And now we just have to wait for the cannon to charge up. Brought up my stats, verified that I was still at 200 hit points myself. That's what Jill starts with. That's what we ended with. Now all we have to do is wait for the cannon to charge up. So just to pass the time, I'm just gonna shoot Nemesis with whatever I have left. And just throwing a volley of grenades like they're fireworks. I should have brought the freeze and the flame rounds too. Now when the rail cannon fires, the first volley will clear the path. And the second volley will trigger the cutscene. Now the rail cannon does do damage to Nemesis, so you can beat him just by using the cannon and nothing else. I'll do that strategy in my Nemesis % run. Jill fakes an injury for style points.
Warning. System overheating. Enter cooldown mode.
One last live selection. Since this is any %, I am taking the quicker option and running away. When I do Nemesis %, I will give him stars. There's Carlos. And we're out of here.
I guess we're all set.
All right then, we're out of here.
Oh no.
It's here. It's time to go.
That's it. I've had it. This time they've gone too far.
And now we have a rather unfortunate turn of events. It seems that the President and the Federal Council have passed judgment over the civilians of Raccoon City. The President and Federal Council have ruled that the Bacillus Terminate operation is the best course of action for this extreme situation, and have since executed. Based on that fact, Raccoon City has been literally wiped off the map. Current reports have the death toll surpassing the 100,000 mark. Our hearts go out to those poor civilians. of Raccoon City.
Roll credits. That concludes this no save, no damage run of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Classic, PC Source Next version, any percent, Arrange Heavy Mode, S rank with a completion time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 42 seconds. Thanks for watching.